for this one? Baked Hasselbacks. Okay, I call them baked Hasselbacks because they're like baked potato toppings on top of Hasselbacks, and they are frigging amazing. Now I've got 3 different size spuds here. I've got large, medium and small, and I've got 3 different toppings I want to show you. So what I thought I might do is do the 3 separately, and we'll cook the big spuds and we'll do pizza on the big spuds. That way you know how long big spuds take to cook. And then I'm going to do what I call fresh ones on our medium spuds, and then I'm going to do what I call the sour cream ones on the small spuds. So the first thing we do, no matter what size your spuds are, is you want to preheat your oven at 200 degrees Celsius, and you want to get out yourselves a baking tray with some baking paper. First thing we're going to do is cut our Hasselbacks. So we want to get it on the biggest side and maybe the flattest out of the 2, okay? And we just want to slice the tiniest little bit off the bottom, like that. Make sure you're in view, tiniest little bit. And if once you've done that, you actually sit it flat. See, nice and flat, doesn't go anywhere. Alright, the next thing we have to do is you need 2 skewers. Now if you're going to use wooden skewers, because we're using the big spuds, you want to get the nice thick wooden skewers, okay? I don't have any, so I'm just going to use a couple of chopsticks. So chopsticks or your wooden sticks are there to guide you so you don't chop through. So when you're first cutting your spud, it's going to be a minute before it gets down to the flat part, so you don't want to cut them through to your chopsticks or your wooden sticks, right? So the first couple, until we get to where we cut it flat, we want to just go halfway through. So very carefully, and I like to do them nice and close together. Once you think you've got down to your flat spot, which I think will be about now, you can cut through to the sticks, and it will stop them cutting it right to the end. And hit your stick. And then when you think you're getting to the flat spot over here and it's about to go up higher, just go down 3/4 of the way, and then as you get closer, just do half the way. That way you won't break it. Alright, let's see how we went. Okay, see how it's like, oh yeah, baby. Alright, do them both like that, or however many you want to do. So for all of these ones, the rub I'm going to make up is exactly the same, which is olive oil and garlic, but you can do any sort you want. Now normally a tablespoon of olive oil and whatever you're going to put on them would be enough to do 1 kilo of small spuds. So you don't need heaps, and it's not exact measurements, because depending on how many spuds you do, but you'll get the hang of it anyway. So I'm probably going to do a little bit more than I need, but because I'm doing all different ones, I'm not going to waste it. So I'm going to do a tablespoon of olive oil. We'll just say this is for 1 kilo of spuds, alright? A tablespoon of olive oil. Now depending on how much garlic you like, you want to put 1 or 2 cloves of fresh crushed garlic in there, or I'm just using the jar garlic like I always do, and I'm going to put a heaped teaspoon. Now I don't know if I've told you where you can find this before, but if you ever go in and where all your spices and herbs are, under that, on the shelves under that, you'll find your crushed garlic. Alright, so I'm going to put a heaped teaspoon in. Because I'm only doing 2, I'm just going to use a little bit, so I'll just sit some garlic on top, because I'm not doing it with my hands. If you rub them all through, you'll get it perfect. But I know I won't need that much. I'll just tip a little bit of olive oil on them. So yeah, in the bowl, put them all over, then get your hands in there and toss around. But I'm just going to do these 2 by hand, because it's only 2 of them. So as you can see, I didn't use very much of that at all. So if you've got a big lot of them, it does really cover them all. Okay, as soon as our oven's hot enough, we want to bang them in. Here's a little tip I thought you might like. So you know when you get your bacon in your big plastic wrappers like that, as soon as you get them home, if you take them out that wrapper, get a couple of bits of paper towel and put them on a plate, then put your bacon on that, then cover it in Glad wrap and put it in the fridge. It will last right up till you use by date, if not longer. Now the paper towel gets all wet after a while, but you leave that on there, you don't re-clean it and that, because that's what keeps it really fresh without it going slimy or anything. It's just bloody awesome. Now for some of the toppings I'm going to use, I'm just going to use whatever I've got, and then I'll throw in everything else you can add in too. Alright, so I'm going to use some tasty grated for the bottom, because that's all I've got. And I'm going to use a little bit of mozzarella for on the top. Now for my pizzas, I always use these Dolmio pasta sauces for the base. So I'm going to use one of them today. But if you haven't got them, you can also use tomato paste. So because I'm only making 2 of them, I'm just going to get 3 slices of bacon and dice them up. So I've got a big slice of ham here. This one's cut pretty thick, but normally you get the really thin stuff. I'm just going to grab 1 piece, but with the thin stuff you can just like shred it into shredded bits. I'm just going to chop this up diced. Now, if you've got chicken, you can use chicken. If you've got a mangy chop left over, you can cut all the meat off and use that. Sausages, chop them up and use that. It doesn't matter, use whatever you've got. So say if you're going to do chopped sausages up on them or something, I'd actually crack an egg over them or something like that and put them back in the oven. Now I'm going to chop a little bit of onion up. Now I'm just going to chop up a little bit of capsicum. Alright, now I've got some canned pineapple slices, so I'm just going to get 1 or 2 of them out and chop them up really small. Now if you've got some mushrooms, or if you've got tomato, anchovies, olives, you can add any of that sort of stuff that you want to them as well. Oh man, it smells awesome in here. Alright, so the large ones took 1 hour and 5 minutes in my electric oven. Oh yeah, baby. Okay, leave your oven on. Alright, so first thing I normally put on is my spaghetti sauce, whatever you want to call it, pasta sauce, or your tomato paste. If you're going to use that, just get a knife and just put little bits through the things. I'm just going to tip it like, get it into the grooves, if you want to call them. Once we've got that goodness in there, I'm going to put some tasty cheese on now and just sort of push it into the slits. Alright, so now I'm going to do 1 with bacon and 1 with ham. Then some onion. A little bit of pineapple on the ham one. Capsicum on both. Now I'm going to put a little bit of mozzarella on top of both. Now if you've got your mushrooms or whatever, you can put them all in. And you don't have to do it in this order. You can shove all different things down through them if you want. Oh yeah baby, now we chuck them back in the oven. 8 minutes later in my electric oven. Well, there you have it lovelies, just like that. Pizza Hasselbacks. Oh, they're a meal in itself. They're bloody cheap and bloody easy to make and bloody beautiful. On to the next one. Alrighty, next one's fresh Hasselbacks, I call these. Okay, so I've got 6 mediums. My oven's still on 200 degrees Celsius. Now we're going to cut them like we did the last ones. Alright, now we've got them ready to go. We just make up another tablespoon of olive oil and a clove of crushed garlic, or a teaspoon of your jar garlic. Alright, pour it over them. And then once the garlic starts to come out, just sort of like drop it on each of them. Okay, now with clean hands, just rub it all over and then toss them all around until we get it coating all of them. Once we've done that, we bang them in our oven. These ones take around the 50-minute mark for medium. So I've got these thick ass slices of ham again. So we use ham on this one. You can chop it up into squares, little cubes if you want. Or normally, because I always get that shaved ham, I like to cut them up really, like in really thin strips. So that's what I'll do with this. Alright, ham's done, so I'll chuck that in the fridge till we need it. Alright, now we're going to make a coleslaw for this one. And this is exactly how I make my coleslaw. So I've got 1/4 of a cabbage. I've got 3 small carrots. I've got praise coleslaw dressing, which is the one I use every time. And I've got some pineapple slices that I'm going to chop up really small. Now the amounts is totally up to you. So this is obviously going to be way more than I need, but we can always use it tomorrow for barbecues or on sandwiches. It's never a waste. So you can cut the cabbage up any whole how you want to. Some people like it really big, some people like it really small. I just don't care. Alrighty, once we've done that, the next thing we want to do is get our carrots, cut the ends off them, peel them, and then after that we want to grate them into the cabbage. Once we've done that, set that aside. Now pineapple, always optional, but oh, I love it in there. I'll probably do... So it's up to you. You can do them in big chunky pieces. I like to cut them really like paper thin and put lots in there. I just love it. So I'm going to do for that much, I reckon 4 rings. Oh yum, I love coleslaw. Okay, so once we've done that, I've got the coleslaw praise original one, alright? And I'll probably shove half a bottle on to start with. and then I'll just keep going if I need more. So just grab a couple of spoons and just keep tossing away. Once you mix it in a bit, just toss it with the spoons like this and just keep doing it. So half a bottle's giving it just that nice thin layer over it, but I don't know, I'm in the mood for more today. So all you have to do is just taste a bit. Oh, it's not enough, or you don't want too much, so you're better off just keep going as you go on. So I'm just going to put another quarter in. So I'm putting 3/4 of a bottle in there. Okay, now we've got that nice and yummy. We'll just bang it in the fridge till we need it. So now we've got our ham sliced up. We've got our coleslaw done. So the next thing we need to get onto is the cheese. Alrighty, the cheese. Now, we're not putting this one back in the oven. This is a fresh one. So you don't want your mozzarellas and that because we're not cooking it. So you can either have the tasty cheese, you can get your coon cheese and grate it up. But for these, I always use the cupboard cheddar. I absolutely love it, whether it's Kraft or Dara Lee. Get there, it doesn't matter. So this is a 500 gram block. I've got 250 grams in there, so I'm just going to grate that up. So if you've never got that before, it's a long life cheese. It sits on the shelf. You'll find it where you find your Vegemites and peanut butter. Isn't that from? Alrighty, once that's done, we're almost ready to rock and roll. Now you probably won't need that much cheese, so I'm guessing about 125 grams of cheese. Okay, so the only other thing we've got to get out is some salt and pepper and some butter or margarine when they're ready. Oh God, they smell good. Alright, so the mediums ones took 55 minutes in my electric oven. Now with these ones, we put them straight on the plates that we want to serve them on. Alrighty, so I'm going to whack 3 on there as a big adult serve. So the first thing we want to do is get some of our butter or margarine and get it in all the bits. Ooh, get that butter melting through there beautifully. Alright, next thing we want to do is put on some salt and pepper. Now we want to get our cheese and shove it in all the bits. Oh, are you excited yet? Okay, once we've shoved the cheese in all the bits, you're just going to get our ham over the top. As little as much as you want. You can make them any hoo-how. Then on top, with as little as much of our beautiful homemade coleslaw. As you can see, it's a lot. So for a big boy, 3 of them is awesome. Kids, you can do 2 and even 1 for the little ones. And they will eat the lot too. It's amazing. Sorry if you can't see in this light properly, but that looks to die for in real life. They are so yummy and filling. On to number 3. Alrighty, you ready for number 3? Okay, so this one I call the sour cream ones. So our oven's still at 200 degrees Celsius. We've got out a cookie tray with our baking paper. Now this time I've got 8 small potatoes. These ones being small take 40 to 45 minutes. So for this one we need bacon, spring onions, sour cream and sweet chili sauce. So I've got roughly about 5 spring onions there. I class them between small and medium. I grabbed 6 tops of bacon. So the first thing we want to do is chop up the bacon and the spring onion. Once we've chopped them both up, we want to put them into a little frying pan and fry them up. Once we've fried that up and we've got some beautiful colour on it, we just want to set it aside, and that's all we have to do for this one while we wait for the spuds to cook. Alrighty, 45 minutes later and the small ones are ready. Now if they're a little bit oily, you can absolutely just pull them out and sit them on some paper towel for a minute before you serve them up. Now these ones we want to put straight onto the plate. 3 on a plate. So the first thing I want to do is just get the sour cream and just give it a little stir in its container. As little or as much as you like on each one. Then our fried bacon and spring onion. One more little tiny drizzle on the top. Get your sweet chili sauce and just drizzle it all over it. Boom. Could you imagine? They are so good. Well, there you have it, lovelies. 3 completely different types of Hasselbacks. 3 completely different kind of meals. They are so filling, and you can just make one or you can make a bucket load up. They really are awesome. I hope I've given you guys some great ideas. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have yourselves an awesome night. I'll see you soon. Bye.